My name's Lisa Rosenblatt. I'm a director of accounting at Commvault. Commvault is a global leader providing the best-in-class cyber resilience platform. We're in approximately 30 countries in all regions, in Americas, in EMEA, and in APAC. Commvault is the gold standard in cyber resilience. We help our clients recover and prevail from ransomware as well as cyber attacks. We bring together cybersecurity, or data security, data protection, data intelligence, as well as recovery on one platform at the lowest TCO. We were with ADP already, and we really enjoyed the experience we had with them, and we found that their in-country payroll providers are very experienced, and they have very good knowledge about the payrolls and the compliance, and it had expertise that we did not have. What we weren't happy with at the time was that we really didn't have this automation, and everything was extremely manual for us. So we went and partnered again with ADP, and we decided that we were going to implement one of their platforms that they had to provide a global payroll solution for all of our countries. We would be able to make it efficient and automated, and everyone worldwide would be able to be on the same platform. The problems that we were having is everything was extremely manual, so it was taking us much longer. So what was really nice and that we had is that everything took much less time than we were doing it when we were originally doing it manually. And it also made it much more efficient. Before, we were having to keep track of everything manually and keep kind of papers and digital files. The team was very happy, and they provided me specific feedback because on the day that we're transmitting all our payrolls, we were able to cut that cycle time down in about half of the time that it was taking us. And because of that, they weren't having to stay late or work extra hours, and it was making them extremely happy. The next step on our transformation journey and on our roadmap is to implement the insights and analytics products that ADP provides, which is another benefit of being with ADP. We want to be able to partner with the business and provide them more value-add information. Payroll expense is one of the largest, if not the largest, expenditures for most companies, and ourselves included, and we want to make sure that we can provide very good insight and analysis. And then we are always asking for different ad hoc reports and information, and we want to be able to use it on a consolidated basis to provide better information than we're able to provide today. My data and security and compliance concerns are always very high. That was another reason why we partnered with ADP, because they take this very seriously. So from a data security perspective, obviously it's very important to keep everything secure, and that is part of their bread and butter, ensuring that that's done and kept in compliance. The other thing that's really important from a risk management perspective as well is compliance in local countries and local laws. So we're in 30 countries, and we can't be experts in every country. And that is where ADP is really good, because they either themselves or their local providers have all the required information and are sharing it with us and working with us to provide us the information, as well ensuring that we're compliant when they're doing calculations for us or when they're doing filings for us. I really partner with ADP, and I trust them to be able to not only keep us compliant, keep us with the automation, but keep moving forward on new technology or new advances to ensure we're keeping up with the ever-changing world. If I were to give advice to somebody about embarking on a transformation like we did, there's a few things that I would tell them. The first thing I would say is, one, you have to align your objectives with the companies to get executive to support you and kind of executive buy-in. So I think that's really important, especially when you're going to ask them for an investment in this, and they have to be able to see the value add. The second thing I think that's really important is you need to partner with ADP in front, kind of tell them and describe what you're trying to do, understand how their platforms work, and then work together to come up with what the appropriate solution is.